Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me. One more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
I call to order the meeting of the Finance Committee on October 14, 2025 at 5:31 p.m. First item of business is the approval of minutes. I'll first need a motion on the draft minutes of the September 23rd, 2025 Finance meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Alder Jetzer. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of accepting the draft minutes of September 23rd, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next, I'll need a motion on the draft minutes of the September 30 and October 1, 2025 Finance meetings budget presentations.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Alder Lettuce. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from September 30 and October 1, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next is public appearances for non-agenda items. We have no one online or in chambers for non-agenda items, so we can move on to item 4, Finance Director Report. Misty?
Thank you. So budget status. So tonight at council, we have our first of 2 budget public hearings, which has been published and put out on Newsflash. So after the public hearing tonight, council amendments then are due on Thursday at 4:30 in the format, the electronic form that I provided. So make sure you get those submitted. We will then turn those around in about a week. A packet goes out to the public to let everybody know what the council proposed amendments are to the 2026 budget. The committee of the whole meeting was moved to the 5th Wednesday of October. So on October 29th, we'll have our conversation where we'll discuss all of the proposed amendments. No voting, just discussion. Then the following council meeting, November 11th, there'll be another public hearing. That's where the public can weigh in on those council proposed amendments. And then at the end of the regularly scheduled meeting, we will go through the amendments one by one, amend them as you see fit, vote on them as you see fit, and at the end of that night, hopefully have a budget and a property tax levy that we can then move on to the next stage of the process. So kind of in the finishing, wrapping up stages, but your guys' important part is coming up real soon. So again, amendments are due on Thursday. And then just one other relatively small update. So speaking of budget and property taxes, our county property tax kickoff meeting is this week. So no time to kind of regather. We just start thinking about the next step right away. So moving forward.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions? Next up is going to be the review of bills. First is 5A, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 129300 to 129363 from September 16 to 30, 2025, totaling $2,668,857.90. Questions or comments? We can move on to 5B, detailed review of all ACH payments from September 1 to 30, 2025, totaling $677,724.23. Comments or questions? Well, that's much shorter than previous years, so glad that we slimmed that down to be more efficient. Next, we can move on to item 6, action items. 6A, I will need a motion on resolution R13325, set 2026 solid waste collection rates.
I move to approve.
Motion approved by Alder Jetzer. Turn it over to you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you. So in the packet here, there's a few different sheets that kind of go over the anticipated contractor costs. the budget or the operating budget for 2026, and then finally an analysis of how different rates for 2026 would affect the fund balance. So of course, in 2026, costs will increase, partially due to just more houses, partially due to unit costs increasing for the services that Pelletary provides. All those unit costs are laid out per year per the contract with Pelletary that was approved earlier last year. So what we're looking at here is a proposed rate increase from $232, which was the current rate this year, to $236. So that's a 1.7% increase. So if you look on the last sheet, the analysis of various charges on fund balance, you'll see that the proposed rate of $236 does mean there would be about $11,000 of fund balance applied. The feeling that was acceptable due to the healthy fund balance. So right now it's at around 30%. I think the recommendation is between 15 and 25%. So there is the ability to not charge quite as much as maybe you would and eat a little bit away at that fund balance. But very slowly. I mean, even at the end of this, it's an anticipated unassigned fund balance of 29.1%. So yeah, unless there's any other specific questions, that's kind of the summary of it. I'm happy to answer any specific questions though.
Questions? Seems pretty straightforward. I assume the RCC approved this?
Correct.
Wonderful. Anything you'd like to share about that discussion?
It was kind of like this.
Sounds good. Nice explanation. Seeing no questions, we can take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R13325, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Ben.
All right, thank you.
Next is 6B. I'll need a motion on Resolution R16125, approving the design services agreement for County Highway Underpass project.
I move to approve.
Motion approved by Alder Lettice. Tim, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. On August 22nd, 2023, the Fitchburg Common Council approved the state municipal agreement for the construction of the County Highway Underpass, and that was via Resolution R16223. The County Highway Underpass project will construct a bicycle and pedestrian underpass underneath approximately 1,600 feet north of Lacey Road. The proposed underpass will connect the growing Terra Vista neighborhood on the east side of to a future development on a former construction landfill site on the west side of Public Works requested 3 proposals from our General Engineering Services RFP. Out of the 3 proposals that we requested, 2 were received. The third company, due to time constraints and existing staff, they were unable to kind of meet the requirements of the project. So out of the 2 proposals that we received, MSA had the lowest cost, and they've satisfactorily designed similar structures for the city in the past. The 2025 CIP included $150,000 for design services of this project. $80,000 in additional funding is necessary to cover the additional $36,380 needed for MSA's design fees, as well as additional costs for contingencies, soil borings, geotechnical reports, and WSDOT design review. The County Highway and McCoy Road intersection signalization project is complete and has excess funds available that can be redirected to this project. So we're looking for council to amend the 2025 CIP project budget to transfer $80,000 from the County Highway and McCoy Road intersection signalization project to the County Highway Underpass project. Then we're ultimately looking for council to approve the award of the project to MSA in the amount of $205,018, which includes a 10% contingency.
Thanks, Tim. Questions? Great. And just to clarify, this is just for the design, right? The actual construction bid will come at a later date.
Yes, the bid, we are looking kind of in spring of 2027.
And my understanding too is that the reason we're moving forward with this before developments are present on the opposite side of that underpass is because we have grant funding that will expire if we don't continue moving forward with this project. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you know, what is the grant? I've heard a couple. Is it 60-40? Is that?
Yes,
Okay.
the grant is 60-40.
And it's 60%. Who's 60%?
60% is the federal
the grant.
portion, local share is 40%.
Got it. But we take on the design costs entirely. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Great. Other questions? Seeing none, we can vote. All in favor of Resolution R16125, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next, I'll need a motion on 6C, Resolution R16325, approving Second Amendment to the Agreement for Engineering Services for Fitchburg Road Reconstruction.
I move approval.
Motion approved by Alder Jetzer. Tim, turn it back to you.
Thank you. The Fitchburg Road from Tonto Trail to Nesbitt Road is being reconstructed to an urban section to replace deteriorating pavement, increase capacity, and improve safety. Resolution R2623 approved a contract with AECOM for engineering services for the reconstruction totaling $290,100. A subsequent resolution R19-24 approved Amendment 1 with AECOM for additional engineering services for an additional $188,110. And during the South Stoner Prairie neighborhood study, staff determined sanitary sewer should also be served by running it under Fitchburg Road. The sanitary sewer that currently exists needs to be upsized and was not included in the original contract, nor was it included in Amendment 1. Therefore, Amendment 2 also includes transportation project plat updates, utility coordination, geotechnical coordination, plan updates to comply with Wisconsin Department of Transportation structures, comments, and additional meetings with the city. So we're looking to move additional funds of $10,060 are necessary to cover the costs of additional engineering services for Amendment 2 involving sanitary sewer design, and an additional $10,250 is needed to cover existing overruns in this account for a total of $20,310 from the sanitary sewer fund. And then the amount of $48,100 is necessary to cover remaining costs of the additional engineering services for Amendment 2. And that is already available in the CIP project fund for the Fitchburg Road Lacey to Nesbitt project. Therefore, we're looking for council to approve the additional scope of work outlined in Amendment 2, and then looking for council to also amend the 2025 sanitary sewer utility budget to redirect $20,310 from the Lacey Road Fitchburg to Seminole project to the Fitchburg Road Lacey to Nesbitt sanitary sewer project.
Thanks, Tim. So the total cost of this amendment is the $20,000 plus the $48,000. Is that?
I believe it's $58,000, so $10,000 less than that.
Oh, got it.
Out of the $20,000 budget amendment, $10,000 is for the amendment number 2, and then the project budget currently has an underrun of $10,000, making that whole. So that's why there's that 10,000 discrepancy.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying. Other questions? I'm pretty happy that we realized this before we move forward with the construction, so thanks for catching that. It's important as we continue to grow the city that our infrastructure is ready to go for that. Seeing nothing else, we can vote. All in favor of Resolution R16325, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Tim. Moving on to item D, I'll need a motion on Resolution R16925, approving an agreement between the City of Fitchburg and Zebra Dog for the design and installation of a community and historical exhibit at the City of Fitchburg City Hall.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Alder Lattice. Mike, are you covering this one?
Thank you, Chair Gerhardt. Yes, I guess I am. The mayor has proposed a community and history exhibit, and in working with the work group here internally and also with the Fitchburg Historical Society, it was determined that we should probably get some outside expertise as far as folks that do this kind of work from a design and installation standpoint. And we're fortunate that we have some local talent here, which is our friends at Zebra Dog and Mark Schmitz, who's a Fitchburg resident, and his team. And they're actually the ones that designed our Fitchburg logo through the last City in Motion strategic plan that we did. So we have a proposal from them for a cost of $37,400, which would include everything from the concept to the design of the materials, as well as the installation of the community and history exhibit. We're talking about the wall immediately to the right as you come into City Hall, where the mayoral photos used to be, they're moved around the corner now. So there's the blank wall across from the front desk is where it would be located. There was $10,000 identified in the operating budget from the TID closure excess increment fund, but we're going to need, so we're asking for a budget amendment, and we have $40,000 kind of identified. The proposal's for $37,400, and it moves from operating to capital projects now because of that dollar amount. But this would get us the whole project from, again, concept to actual installation, and Zebra Dog does great work for it. So I think we've got a great local partner, and we'll still be going through that process with the work group as well as with the Fitchburg Historical Society to develop what does it actually entail and look like.
Questions? Thanks, Mike. Questions? Bill?
Yeah, so it says there will be a wall mural. Is that going to be painted, or is that going to be something else?
It could be a variety of kind of materials. It could be almost like a wallpaper kind of thing, and I'm outside of my element. I'm not a scrapper or any of
But
these
it'll be
art
permanently
kind of
fixed
elements
to the
that-
wall, right?
But some of it could be removable, you know, too. There could be some elements that aren't, and then we're hoping that there would be some type of technological aspect, like whether it's a flat screen or something like that, so that way it's not just a static wall. So as our history continues to evolve moving forward, there could be some content that kind of is fresh and, you know, lives on.
That was going to be my next question. But
Yeah.
How often do we envision updating that content, and is that something, I don't know, who does that?
Yeah, I think that'll be determined through working with that work group and also with the Fitchburg Historical Society. Luckily, we've got great partners here with FACTv.
Sure.
So I think some of the content probably that they're already putting together, you know, maybe something that we incorporate in some updates, you know, depending on things that are relevant. And that's where Zebra Dog is really strategic and astute at kind of coming up with that storyboard of how you approach something like this. So hopefully through that process, they'll have some good guidance for us going forward of what are some of those kind of themes that we want to continue and kind of that storytelling that we want to have going forward there. So I'll defer to the experts on that one.
I'm sure we've seen this in other contracts in the last few months, but there's the statement in the contract about tariff rates.
Yeah.
Who decides whether the cost increase of something that they're working on is due to tariffs or whether it's due to natural price increases or anything like that? Because it seems kind of vague in the contract language. It just kind of basically says, if we determine that materials cost more because of tariffs, we have the right to charge you more.
And I don't have a good answer for you on that one. I think it'll have to be a collaborative, you know, kind of process with them for it.
Okay.
we did give ourselves a little, we're asking for 40 contracts for 37.4. I will say from our previous experience, with them, they worked very well with us. On the value added that we got through this process and everything was, we got a good product for the dollar that we paid there.
I like that we're working with a local company, and I also, I think the branding that they did for the city is quite good. I love the logo.
We continue to implement that, and and again, Mark and his team, they know Fitchburg and they know our community, so I think we've got the best partner that we could have to work on this project with us.
It looks like a 4-leaf clover too, so
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, seeing no other questions, we can vote. All in favor of Resolution R16925, say aye. Actually, do we need a roll call because it's 2/3?
Nope, because the 2/3 is just at council.
Oh, that is the majority of this committee. Thank you. All in favor of Resolution R16925, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Mike. Next item is, I'll need a motion on Resolution R17125, approving change order number 2 for the McGaw pickleball courts to allow for court lighting.
I move approval.
Motion approved by Alder Jetzer. We're actually going to start with public comment. So I'll call Aaron Shetter up to the mic to, you have up to 3 minutes to say whatever you'd like.
Thank you for considering this. I'm part of the McGaw Pickleball Advisory Committee that works and volunteers at the courts. I'm also one of the founding members with my husband Dan of Pickles and Beer, which is the largest pickleball event in Dane County, and it's held at McGaw Park every Friday night throughout the summer months. So a couple of questions when you're thinking about the lights. First, why invest more in pickleball? And secondly, why do we need to invest in lights? And just as a little bit of background, it's the fastest growing sport in the country. It's increased 45.8% year by year. So it's rapidly growing. And you'll see in the Dane County area how many courts have been built and they're still full. So it's just a rapidly growing sport. And Dane County Kappa, our capital area pickleball, has 1,250 members as of last year, up from 277 in 2018. Last year at McGaw, we had 9,000 visits to our courts that we know of. Our impact group tries to track attendance when we're monitoring the courts, and that's what we know of. And we know there are many more besides that. It's a very popular place to be in Fitchburg. A couple of other things about pickleball that maybe you guys aren't aware of, but McGaw Park in particular was named as the 4th largest attendance for National Pickleball Day in the country. Number 4 in Fitchburg, Wisconsin. We also received a feature on our courts through Pickleball Scheduler that was sent out nationwide. We received visits from people from all over the country, some international, and people just from the state. So we get a lot of traffic, visitor traffic, coming through the courts as well. And if you read in Business Magazine this past summer, McGaw Park was heavily featured in the article that they did on the pickleball boom and talked about the inclusive nature of pickleball at McGaw Park and how it's very welcoming and inviting to people. And I thought it was really positive press for a regional magazine. So we have beautiful courts. People want to use them, so why do we need to invest in lights? So if you're looking at the goal of providing high-quality recreational opportunities that improve quality of life for all ages and interests and promote a strong sense of community, you can't invest your dollars better than in pickleball. But the fastest growing population in pickleball is a particular age demographic of 25 through 34, people that work. So when you're investing in pickleball, sure, seniors, people that aren't working, maybe work nighttime hours can come during the day, but during the night, people are becoming more limited as the daylight hours get shorter. Lights would expand the opportunities for that demographic group to play more. And it would also improve access for kids that are students, our youth. Every one of the school districts that are in the city of Fitchburg, teach pickleball in their school curriculum. We are seeing a big uptick in the number of kids who come even to Pickles and Beer, because it's not about the beer part. It's about socializing and being a part of a community. And the kids say, we love being able to play with each other. And it comes across the school district. So we have kids from Madison, Oregon, and Verona coming together at the courts and finding each other and playing with each other. And some of these kids are extremely skilled players. And this would give them a better opportunity to play as well. Thanks so much, Erin. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you so much for your great comments. Moving on, who is going to give the introduction to this? Adam?
Good evening. Tonight is a change order for the McGaw pickleball courts. This would allow the actual light poles to be installed on those. So when we bid this project initially, bids came in high, but as part of that, we did put the light pole bases in. So they're sitting out there and they're ready to have actual lights added to them. So the proposed change order, and working with the consultant or the contractor, they said they'd be willing to hold their low bid price of approximately $143,000 plus an additional $2,100 to rent a crane. They have to bring a crane in there now in order to install the lights just because all the work that has gone on. So that comes out to about $146,000, and staff is also looking at $9,000 in contingency. Part of that contingency we intend to, this was talked at the Board of Public Works, we intend to add a switch there, so people would have the option of lighting the existing 8 courts or the new 4 courts. So it wouldn't light them all at once, but they could pick either the west or the east courts to light. So with that, staff's recommending approval of this. If approved, the lights would be installed potentially by the end of December. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Wow, by end of December, that's a fast turnaround.
Hopefully.
That's amazing. Any questions? Micah?
So are we approving this? So Public Works approved you to look into the cost of the switch. I think we kind of have a cost, or we got an estimate or something like that, right?
We have a cost. It's $3,250.
Okay, so are we approving this with that cost, or are you going to take that out of the contingency, or how does that kind of work?
I intend is to grab it from the contingency. Okay. I mean, if you want to include it in there, I'd be happy if you want to add that in. I'm not going to lose sleep on it, but with that $9,000 contingency, we intend to draw on that, based on the comments we heard in the public and also from the Board of Public Works.
Great. Thanks so much for the great comments. I always learn more about pickleball every time a pickleball topic comes up. I swear, I feel like but I still have not. I need someone to teach me how to play because thank you. Yeah, I've heard it's amazing. Also, I really think it's interesting that the younger demographic is picking up because I think that's an important point. So, really, really interesting information here. Seeing no other questions, we can take it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R17125, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone. We can move on to our next item, 6F. I'll need a motion on Resolution R17825, approving a scope of services agreement between the City of Fitchburg and Vandewaal Associates, Inc. for the City in Motion Economic Vision and Strategy 2025 update, and the cost-sharing agreement between the City of Fitchburg and the Fitchburg Chamber Visitor and Business Bureau for the City in Motion Economic Vision and Strategy 2025 update.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Aldo Ladase. Mike.
Thank you, Chair Gerhardt. I'm back again. This would be for an update to our City in Motion Forward Fitchburg strategic plan. The first one was done in 2012. The latest update was in 2018, and that included the branding exercise where we worked with Zebra Dog. And as you know, a lot has changed since this one was updated in 2018 and kind of post-COVID, and where do we go from here? But both the 2012 and 2018 versions have really been a roadmap for implementation items and strategies for our economic development program here. So we would like to do another update. The proposal from Vandewaal is for a cost of $77,400, and it details the work elements that are included in that process. This will be a joint exercise with CETA and then also with our Fitchburg Chamber Visitor Business Bureau. So as part of this, we have the funding sources are $25,000 from ARPA-TID, And then we've got $20,000 of this, the cost sharing through the Fitchburg Chamber Visitor Business Bureau, not only from an economic development standpoint, but also from a tourism component, which is part of this exercise. And then the remaining $32.5 would be from CETA's budget and CETA's dollars. And as part of this resolution, we're looking to do a budget amendment to move the $32.5 from our public information to professional services. That's where it lines up better, according to our finance expert there, Misty Dodge. So we're doing that as part of the exercise here. But we're excited to move this forward. The kickoff will be on Thursday, November 20th, and there will be a workshop with the council, with the chamber board, and with CETA. So watch for an email invite from us for that. But Vanderwall has been great to work with. Like I said, part of the scope of this work includes kind of a highlight of what we've accomplished since the last plan. Because this isn't one of those plans that sits on the shelf. As you can see, I'm always pulling it out and got lots of documents and papers in here as we're referring to things that we're working on. So, but it's in need of an update, especially post-COVID there, because I think we all envisioned that there would be a lot more office development. And so in some of the corridors where we've got some neighborhood plans, with that kind of identified as the use, where do we go with some of those plans and visions, and what's the right fit for Fitchburg?
Thanks, Mike. Questions?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And just so for the public that's not aware, those CETA dollars, that Community Economic Development Authority, that's room tax, hotel room tax dollars that are paid from visitors to our city.
Yes.
And we also pay, for people that don't know, 75% of that room tax dollars actually goes to the chamber.
70%.
70%, thank you, 70%, so that the chamber can advertise the community. 30% comes to us, and we save that for things related to economic development, those CETA dollars. Is that correct?
Yep.
For the most part. We
Yeah.
do have a portion that goes to pay for the administrative costs of it, but the bulk of it stays with CETA.
Yeah, so when people see those signs around town, those wayfinding signs, those like advertising dollars, that's coming from hotel room tax dollars, not from tax money.
And our
Property tax
Fitchburg
money.
Chamber is our designated official tourism entity. So by state statute, we could either have a hotel tourism committee or a tourism entity, and we went the route with the tourism entity.
Outstanding. Seeing no other questions, we can vote. All in favor of Resolution R 17825, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
And our last item, I'll need a motion on Resolution R 19325, approving the purchase of police vehicle, and this is a direct referral.
I will move approval.
Motion approved by Alder Jetzer. Captain, are you going to speak to this? Wonderful. Whenever you're ready.
I believe the vehicle that we're discussing is for the new position of Detective Sergeant, which in the next couple of weeks to 3 weeks should be a reality for us. We've picked out a car after doing some research with other investigators that do that type of work, and we've settled on a vehicle that we've got two of already, which is a Chevy Traverse. It's pretty versatile for what they do on a daily basis and should serve that position well.
And is this going to have like a package, like for like a squad car, or is this different because of the nature of the role?
For the nature of the role, it has a lot less equipment. Currently, we'll have no equipment in it other than the portable radio that goes with that position. There will likely be some form of covert hidden lighting within the vehicle for when you need to activate as a police vehicle in the moment, but very seldom should that be used.
I guess maybe restating the question, beyond the 44,000, what should we expect in the future ballpark? Is it, a couple hundred, couple thousand, couple tens of thousands?
Yeah, we've tried to get that answer from our outfitter, and they're so busy trying to get back to us. We have a couple similar vehicles that have no equipment in them either right now. So if I had to give an estimate, we're talking on the low end of what you talked there, maybe $1,000 or so.
Yeah.
Nothing too extravagant.
It needs a few things, but not a full setup like a squad car.
Nothing that's overly concerning. It's just what does it look like and get us there, but it's not a priority for us at the moment.
And so we can pick up this car almost immediately, is that?
Correct. It's being held pending its approval. So it's been located. It's the exact vehicle that was presented in this referral.
Great. And then you said we are in the process of hiring somebody or have hired somebody?
There was an internal process for the position that has concluded, and the hope is that that person will be confirmed at tomorrow's Police and Fire Commission.
Oh, outstanding.
Yes.
That's great to hear. Other questions? Micah? No. All right. Seeing no other questions, we can take a vote. All in favor of Resolution R193-25, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Captain.
Thank you all.
Next on our agenda is announcements. Our next finance meeting will be October 28, 2025. Anything else, Misty? I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move we adjourn.
Motion by Alder Jetzer. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:05 p.m.